Good evening. My name is CJ Lutke, and I am a member of the International Adult Leadership Collaborative, known as the ALC, of the FASD Changemakers, a group of 16 adults with FASD who, with the help and support of organizations like FASD United, are going to change the world. I had the privilege of attending the Gala last year, and I had a ball. And I'm so pleased to have been able to come back and being asked by FASD United to speak to you. As an adult with FASD diagnosis, as an adult with FASD, I was diagnosed as a baby with full FAS and born with alcohol in the amniotic fluid. Quite literally, I was written off as the worst case scenario. I have worked for many years to change the perception about what it means to have FASD. Why? Because so much of what people think they know about FASD is not particularly accurate. It might have been accurate 50 years ago, but it does not have to be, and should not be, and is not in 2023. But without FASD United, one of the very, very few organizations dedicated to working hard to change the world for people with FASD, how would anyone know that? The work they do is critical. Keeping that work going is critical. FASD United has fought to find major donors who can help to fund needed supports and services. They do the policy work that is critical to changing systems. They do the advocacy work that can change laws. They provide clear and real understanding for families, and they want to amplify the voices of those of us who have FASD, and most importantly, they believe in our ability to work with them. They understand the critical connections between research, families, systems, different organizations, and individuals with FASD, changing the expectation and understanding from one of hopelessness to one of a more positive outcome, and the outcomes that are positive. And yes, attainable when the individual people, donors, systems, services, and organizations, and policymakers and government work together with those they exist to help. I refuse to downplay how hard it can be to have FASD, because it is, and how hard it is for families. But I want you to know that the benefits of the early diagnosis and supports that I had really made the difference. And why? Because diagnoses, intervention, and support for people with FASD really is prevention. It is what can prevent many of the acquired secondary issues seen with FASD, because they are not inherent to the disability. They are not inevitable. They are acquired. Can we prevent them all? Probably not, but can we prevent many of them? Yeah, we can. Remember when I said I was written off? Well, today I am a 39-year-old successful adult with FASD. I am a mother. In fact, I adopted my son, who also has FASD, and I am not the only adult with FASD who is adopted. I have a part-time job that I have held for 20 years. I mentor people with FASD. I write a blog seen all over the world. I am one of the founders of the FASD Changemakers. And in the end, I was not written off. I was written in. Because as Alan Turing, the man who is the father of computer science, has said, sometimes it is the people who no one imagines anything of, who do things that no one can imagine. I still have limitations and things that no matter how hard I try, even with support, I simply cannot and will not ever be able to do. But I have more things I can do, and a couple of things I can do really well. And that is the true story for most people with FASD. With your help, the leadership of FASD United is taking on the role of making this story happen. They are changing the direction and the future of what it is understood about FASD. With your help, the leadership, oh, I've just read that. Because as a man named Amar Ochani, and I apologize for butchering his last name, the proof for what you do comes after belief, not before. The proof for what you do comes after belief and not before. This is why help and support are so important. If you think about it, the multiplicity of connections that FASD United is actively building and encouraging, using a whole lifespan approach, will, with your ongoing help, move the field forward in ways we never even anticipated, even 5 years ago. The collaboration they are building amongst everyone ensures that the concerns and priorities of the FASD community, and especially those of us who have had the biggest stake in this, the individuals who have FASD, are incorporated into research, policy, practice, service, and legislation. Ultimately, the approach is essential if accurate understanding, care, and support for quality of life is to occur across the future lifespan of those with FASD and our families. I want to end with a quote that speaks directly to what FASD United wants to do, and with your help, can do. A man named John Shar said, "The future is not the result of choices amongst alternative paths offered by the present. The future is a place that is created first in the minds and will, created next in activity. The future is not some place we are going to, but one we are creating. The paths are not to be found, but made. And the activity of making them changes both the maker and the destination." FASD United, through all the enormously hard work they do and want to do, is what will make the difference. They have truly understood this quote, and together we can all work to change the future. Why? Because, as I have so often said, FASD is an origin story. It's where you start. It's not a destination, and it is not where you will end up. Thank you for listening.